So I hope this is working. All right, everybody, I'm on. I tried to trickle in about 30 seconds before showtime. So, uh, welcome to Clear Blue Radiance. This is a podcast that I do just about every Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Resonant Essentials YouTube channel platform. Today is Thursday, November the 9th, 2023. Thank you for joining me and watching this live forum and, also doing replay. One of the things I like to say is that I've been doing spiritual counseling for over 40 years, closer to 45 years. I really enjoy helping people such as yourself gain greater clarity in your life. We're also, as people, hey there, Jackie, my fellow Piscean friend. One of the things about doing this work is about not only helping people, but you're serving humanity. And that's very important. Sometimes we lose sight of that. Serving humanity for the highest good of all, or for the greater good, if we must say. And so today's topic will help us kind of redefine those things. Not only am I here to help people gain greater clarity, but to discover their purpose. Some people already know what their purpose is, but they might want help in redefining their purpose. And that's because our purpose changes as we grow spiritually, as we gain a better understanding of ourselves. So today's topic, this particular podcast title, is based on an observation that you and I may have seen or done, or we may know of someone who has demonstrated what this title is. And what I'm going to pinpoint, you'll notice when you hear the title, the core foundation that's actually the key leads to another core foundation, which is a strength, a corrective tool. So today's topic is showing off and showing out is not always the coolest way to be. Acting on your faith with humility gets the prize. Acting on your faith with humility gets the prize. Now, I kind of came up with this particular topic and try to always keep them shorter because I was noticing something while out yesterday. And what I was noticing was actually two adults, they very much business people, and they were out with their wives having lunch, and they were talking about a fellow friend. And this fellow friend they were describing was a person that had gained a lot of skills in life, or let's say had the opportunity to gain a lot of skills, a lot of life experience skills, uh, been able to enjoy life because that particular friend of theirs happened to be born into a family of great physical, financial wealth. Now, the couple that was talking about this, as I give you this background, you could tell that they weren't in that same position as their neighbor was, as their childhood friend was, or college friend was. You could tell by their, not so much their appearance, but by the way that they were talking. And they were happy with how their life was going for them every day, moment to moment. they were feeling quite blessed that they had what they would call the average American dream type of experience. One of them, uh, I'll say one of the couples had inherited a family business, but they had always been struggling with that family business. The other couple worked for some companies, small corporations, as they were describing it, where they were experiencing a lot of ups and downs through the company financially because the company was probably folding or moving. The guy said at one point the company went abroad because they thought that they would do better abroad, therefore cutting out an entire population of employees who could not travel abroad. So basically, they went into unemployment. And because one of these couples was a part of that journey, they had to find other work to support their families. And they also became like some type of entrepreneur because they had to turn things around swiftly. But both couples, we're talking about this friend, this longtime friend, who was born into a family of physical financial wealth. They said a pretty great magnitude, considering that the family had actually uh, a huge mansion and a McMansion, a smaller mansion, but still huge. They were able to afford that. That person was able to travel, go all over the world. But what they noticed most about this person, whenever they would get together with him, he was the one that fit this title of today's podcast. So, one of the things that comes out of this, showing off, that's the first part. Being able to show off, always talk about what you have when it comes to financial wealth and material things. So, one of the things that this person that they were talking about, they represented the ego. What is the ego? The ego is the individual personality side that can become distorted. It is the side that acts like a magnifying glass that shows you how you may perform or act in front of people. And we know that when someone is being egotistical, they think they know all the answers to things that they may not have any understanding about. So maybe one of the examples they were talking about was this person came from a family. Now they're all living here in New Mexico, but they all at one time lived more like in, I'll call, middle America landscape, where they kind of grow up where there were farms and things of that nature. So they all grew from that and started traveling around the country. And like this particular friend was able to travel abroad because his family was always all over the world making money, physical, financial wealth. But they noticed that his ego was huge. His personality side, the me, the I, was extremely large. And what they realized, even going back to college days, high school days, because they kind of came from the same area, what they noticed that he needed to feel important. He needed to be the center of attraction. He needed that. He needed to be that person that got that all the time. Well, I didn't interrupt their conversation, but I was thinking, is it that he was the only child in that family? Or was he the oldest? Did they have a certain pecking order where they only paid attention to the oldest one? Or was he the brattiest one, the youngest one, who got lavished with all attention? Well, it turned out that he was a single child. So he was used to attention all the time. If both of them didn't give the attention, one of them, so his father was grilling him all the time, making him follow the steps, which he enjoyed following. So he became that person with this humongous ego. So he was made to be what? To feel important. There's the need to feel important in someone is seeking a great deal of attention all the time so that they become the center of attraction. So that means he had to learn how to articulate, how to learn how to present himself verbally quite well, or at least dress the part. Usually, people of that magnitude or that opportunity, when they step in, their soul makes the contract and steps into those lives, they are able to acquire a lot of things and become flashy with those things. The big, expensive cars, especially more foreign made cars, the expensive suits and pants and hats and shirts and ties. Why? Because they can afford it. We know the average person here can't afford that. Person's not going to spend $1,000 on boots. I heard that there's some people who do. They will spend $2,000 on a pair of boots and ringing up on the husband's MasterCard. You know, they got one of those big cards where they can afford to ring up $2,000. It's nothing because the man is making so much money with the business that they run together. $2,000 to them might be just $2 because they pay it off in no time. So that person fits the ego, and the ego can become highly distorted because it's all about me, 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 and you're not even included. There have been people, I know I have experienced this, working for companies that have made mounds of money and they shut down whenever they want to. They might say, okay, we're going to shut down for 2 weeks. And you're going like, how am I going to pay my bills if I'm shutting down for 2 weeks? And they might say, well, you should have saved your money. Well, how are you going to save your money if you got bills over beyond your head that you can't even take care of? So now you're shutting down not 1 week, 2 weeks. And when you're shutting down 2 weeks, that's 2 weeks that what interrupts your life for almost 2 months. But usually, sometimes people who do that, they're more concerned with their materialistic things that they have and where they have their monies invested in, so that only a few can entertain what they're doing and the masses can't. So when one is doing that with the ego, I would say they're not only showing off, but they're showing out. Out meaning they want to present themselves in an outward form so that you see them all the time. And they might even tell you all these good things that they have done for others, or done for you, or done for your folks, or done for your communities, but yet you haven't really seen it. I was just watching the other day. I've always watched college football. I like professional sports to watch, professional football, but I watch more of the college than the pros. The pros are nothing but older college students making a lot of money. Lately, I've been watching the Colorado, next state above me, Colorado Buffaloes. Why? Because a Hall of Famer athlete, football athlete, who had been coaching high school levels with his own high school that he had because he could afford it down in Texas, growing all the way up, went to HB, as they call it, HBCU, Historical Black Community Universities and College. So he went to Jackson State University and he turned around the football program because he himself grew up in Florida as well. And that's Deion Sanders, the one they call Deion Neon or Prime. Coach, they call him Coach Prime now. But he has his two sons playing that up at Colorado, up in Boulder, Colorado. But he's been asked to come up there and take over a football program to try to turn it around. And what I've noticed is only a small percentage of coaches are really excited for what he's been doing, considering that he took over a program that was faltering, where the young men only won one game out of 12. They lost 11 times, won once. He comes in with his, as he calls it, his Louis Vuitton luggage, meaning his two sons and some of the kids from Jackson State University through the football portal to change things, to put some life. So right now they're below 500 percentage points. Right now they've won 5 games and lost 4, something like that. They got 3 games left. If they get 2 of those games, they can go to a bowl game or might get selected. If they wind up 6-6, they could be selected, just by the coaches. They want to see what they'll do. But what he's been able to do just for Boulder, Colorado, has changed the whole economic structure. He's changed the entire economic structure of Boulder, Colorado. How? Because his name alone attracts people. And what he's able to do, bring in other people as coaches, professional coaches, former professional football coaches, students from all over the country wanting to play for him. But the thing about it, he's kind of put Boulder, Colorado on the map. The only thing I knew about Boulder, Colorado, there was a Tibetan or meditation style organization there, Naropa, Naropa, Naropa Institute. I knew that they were there in Boulder, Colorado, but I didn't know anything else about Boulder, Colorado. Only thing about Colorado I knew was Denver, Colorado. But what I'm saying is his name, his presence has brought so much light to that university. Well, the people in the town basically are excited. The college students are excited. Why? Because they get to see this flavor impact their world. But many people say he's doing it with a big ego. He's not doing it with a big ego. He's doing it because he loves the game of football. He loves coaching. He loves seeing people become accountable for themselves at a young age and also become known for what they do. And when you're playing college sports, you're not just skipped through like you would be in high school. You get to graduate and you have never attended class. No, those young men, they got to show grades. They got to show that they're participating, that they're taking care of business, getting their education, attending all their classes, showing up for football practice, which is not daytime in the afternoon. They have it in the morning. So you can't miss the practice in the morning. They got to go to game room and film. They got to study the other teams. They got to study past film footage of themselves playing. The reason why I say this is because he's doing it without being flashy. Other coaches think they're against him. That's what they have in their mind. Oh, they're going to beat him. He's a highly intelligent man. His sons are highly intelligent. They don't drink. They don't smoke. Deion Sanders, he's like 50 years old. He's got skin so smooth, it's ridiculous. I wish I had skin that smooth. But the reason why I'm pointing this out, because sometimes when we are going for our goals, we're trying to attain something in our lives. We're seeking to change or shift our attitude, like Dr. Michael Bernard Beckwith says, change your attitude and change your altitude. If you look upon life as in a positive way, see yourself in a positive manner, and claim positivity, and then do your best to carry it out, your altitude has to go up. Your life has to get to that mountaintop and take off. That's the same thing Deion is talking about. He does this with the Bible, like most of them do. He can take you through a Bible verse and put that out there to motivate those students. Well, here's the other side of the coin, because the ego will cause you to show out. Like, look at me, look at me, look at me. But sometimes people have this need to show off. And what are they showing off? Well, they have to have some pretty good skills in order to show them off. They have to have a huge library of knowledge in order to show how much they know something. But it gets to a point when a person is showing off, they get into that state with the ego where they're bragging. Now their ego is larger than they are because they're a highly competitive person. And they walk into a room and they can see that some people are shy. Some people don't look confident in themselves. They can tell that some people don't boast about themselves. So that's a big platform that they could take on, right? Because they could show their skills. Some people have strong communication skills. Some people have strong educational skills, dance, music, drama, acting, filmmaking skills. Some people have mechanical, hands on experience skills, and they can feel when others don't have it. So now they even do more. They begin to brag. But what happens when your ego is big and you're out there bragging and you're trying to demonstrate that you know more than anybody else? Sooner or later, there's the fall from grace, because they're in violation of grace, of the principle of divine grace. Divine grace is like a divine intervention. It comes out of nowhere and awards those who don't even feel that they deserve or merit an award, but it gives them a blessing that allows them to have abundance and prosperity and good health begin to overflow in their life, like the cornucopia. You open it up and there's all kind of fruits and vegetables and flowers and many other things that come out. It's an abundance of things. And you begin to prosper from those things long period of time. But when someone is showing off and showing out, there is one thing that they are lacking. And that one thing that they are lacking is called humility. Humility. That person is lacking humility. And they show that they are quite uncomfortable being humble. Some people are. Why? Because they think that being humble is a sign of weakness. I'm going to repeat that again. People think when a person is humble that they are weak. Humble, kind, loving, but the bigger spectrum, the hordes, the mob thinks that those people are weak mind, weak will, not confident in themselves. They think because they see the person being humble that the person might be soft spoken, also nearly quiet, talking in a whisper. But in reality, being humble allows one to display that humility, which shows great strength of character. Ego is a character, but the ego can become distorted, and therefore, then the character is no longer strength. The character doesn't have faith. The character doesn't have love. The character is not showing grace. The character is not showing compassion. The character is of that person is not showing that they care about others. But here's what a person who is showing off and showing out is missing. What they're missing is that humility is a true blessing as it attracts positive people and positive experiences into their life. Let me repeat that. A person who has humility will understand that it's a true blessing that attracts positive people, positive experiences into their life. Being humble attracts all forms of abundance and prosperity. Why? Because when you're being humble, you're not worrying about the financial prosperity, the financial wealth. You're looking at around you and you're claiming other things. Sometimes I had to change my mind. I had to think beyond limitations because when the ego controls you and when you have this need to be on a stage, you're actually limiting yourself because all you're thinking about is the stage and the people are going to be observing you. Here's something that Deion Sanders, Coach Prime as they call him. He said, you have to be willing to perform at your best, at your highest, without an audience. In other words, he's telling his players, go onto the field and show me your best. Show yourself your best. Whether there is a college pro scout there or not, show up. Because the more you show up, the more you don't have to show out. Your work speaks volumes for you. You become quite magnetic without doing anything but being humble. That means all things that are made for you come to you. You don't have to chase after anything. It's coming to you. You can choose to stand still and wait, but it's better to take some kind of action toward the outcome, toward the goal that you're seeking to achieve. And in your mind, be like a marathon runner and don't just look at the first 100 yards in front of you. Look at 200 yards in front of you so the momentum can carry you through the 100 into the 200. And before you complete the 200 meters, you're looking further down the road at the 300th meter point. And so that your energy carries you there. As your energy carries you there, you can look a little further, or you could say, okay, I see the finish line in my mind, and that's what I'm striving for. And I'm racing to strive to complete this race. And you get to the point you act like no one else is there. You could hear the crowd, you could see the people, but that doesn't matter to you anymore. You're just striving to do a better time, a shorter time, a quality run, and become qualified because it's a quality run, just not based on your quantity, not just based on your external output, but your internal output. What is coming into your life that allows you to see what you need to see? When you see things, you feel things. When you see things, you feel. So obviously, you are feeling something, you are hearing something, you are tasting and you are smelling before the thing shows up. So you become quite magnetic without doing anything but being humble. And the more humble you are, the more compassionate you become. You're able to show unconditional love as it is your natural state of being. You just come into the planet showing love. You have love for everybody. Therefore, you're blessing people with your presence. And as you bless others with your presence, you gain more. Because what goes around does come around. If you put more positive intentions with positive actions and develop positive feelings, as Dr. Michael Beckwith says, founder of Agape Spiritual University out there in California, the attitude, the accumulation of energy, of fuel that goes into the being very positive and thinking and action and doing more than believing but having faith will raise your altitude. That which is above you will come and meet you and greet you and embrace you. Why? Because you're already accepting yourself. So before I close out, I want to make some few announcements. If you're here in Albuquerque at Resident Essentials, located at 3107 Eubank Boulevard Northeast, inside the Scottsdale Shopping Village, just north of Eubank and Candelaria Boulevard, you could come to Resident Essentials and enter through door number 34, suite 34. Well, there's a lot of things that go on. If you go to the website, www.resonantessentials.com, a calendar pops up and it shows you everything that's there and people in place. If you click on practitioners, it'll give you all the names of the practitioners that are working through Resonant Essentials right now. In fact, I interviewed one of them yesterday. That was Lauren White of Lolo's Tarot. She's a tarot reader there, very lovely person, and always learning, always open to learn about metaphysical things and higher consciousness. The beauty of all of this is that we have an opportunity to gain success in our lives. And so, Resonant Essentials is one day at a time, changing the scope of things so we see a bigger picture, so that we impact not only the spiritual communities, to business communities, families, individuals, students, non students, retirees. It's something there for everybody. For instance, if you come on a Saturday and I start at 11:30 and I'm over at 12:30 for about $10, and I keep the fee low per class, you can take a one-on-one meditation with me live. Now we do it right there at the center so I can interact with you. I don't do that one online. Many of you know that I do a lot of things online for that purpose, to for people around the country and some people outside of the country to tune into my meditation classes and courses and things. But at Resident Essentials, we got a live class, and I will teach anybody that walks through that door that wants to sit down and learn how to meditate, learn how to come in touch with that higher consciousness self known as the higher self. And if you come consistently, I can usually have you connect with your higher self in about 6 months or less. It takes that amount of time because you need time to get into the breathing and body posture mechanics. Plus, you're sitting in a room in a circle with not just me, but other practitioners hungry to learn this. And you can kind of feed like a Slurpee, kind of suck off the energy of positivity that you get in the room with all of us. Sometimes I have 2 people, 5 people, 4 people, and several times I've had 17 and 20, 29, almost 30 people on a Saturday. But it's all designed to help you clarify your path. That's why I call it Creative Pathwork Meditation Series, so that you could move into higher echelons for yourself. Usually every second Sunday, and coming up this second Sunday, which is November the 12th, we'll be there from 12 p.m. to 5 p.m. Admission is free for a psychic and healing arts fair. And we have a lot of people. Again, Lauren of Lolo's Tarot will be there. Liliana Rondon of Jaguarina Apothecary. She's there today, right now, usually from 10 to 4 or 10 to 5. And she has a lot of the things that she's selling, which is herbal care for your body. I took a class with her a couple of months ago, and it was how to make a salt bath and how to make a coffee scrub for the body. Did I try some? Oh man, it's delicious. I don't want to use it all up, so I take a little bit at a time and add it to my bath water or whatever and soak. and feel that energy, because she teaches you how to empower the things that you're putting to make up these salt baths and these scrubs. Well, she's there today. Usually she's there from 10 to 5. And she offers like a live being in the art studio kind of thing. She has all the art supplies, and you get a chance to express yourself spiritually on paper. And she does that from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. And usually from 1 to 2, she does a lunch and learn. So you bring your lunch in and you learn specific topics that she will teach you. She's also doing crystal readings there on Sunday at this Sunday's Psychic Fair. There's Owl Candles with Stefan Pereira. She's a wonderful person, and she makes her own candles, scented candles. They're the magical candle kind, so it takes care about everything that's going on around your life, and it boosts your energy. She is there selling her wares, and I think she has a couple of necklaces that she sells as well. Lauren also sells sometimes necklaces too. Then there's Barbara Porcelain. Barbara Porcelain is the owner of Organizational Rebel, and she teaches people how to scale up their businesses, scale up the practice of the businesses, how to use marketing and things of that nature. And she really helps a lot of people. She does retreats inside the United States and out of the United States. She's done them as far away as Hawaii. And she's going up to Taos, New Mexico, and done them up there. And it's awesome. And she attracts men and women, but I know there's a lot more women who are getting into business, who have been in business a long time, benefit from her teachings. Well, Barbara Porcelain is going to be doing some crystal readings there tomorrow. She'll be her first time in the fair, and we're looking forward to seeing her there. Then there's Rosemary Navarra. I call Rosemary Navarra the perennial everyday student. She studies evolutionary astrology and tarot cards, and she's also studying oracle cards. And she will be there selling oracle cards. She works with this woman, Carol Fuentes, and they have scarves and things that relates to the oracle cards. And she'll be there. She does numerology as well, just like I do. And then we will have Michelle Vidal, the owner of Resonant Essentials, who will be doing psychic readings, psychic mediumship style readings. A lot of the people there are her students. And I've taken one or two of her classes just to see, what I need to study a little deeper. Michelle's a great person. She's been into the metaphysical field, studying metaphysics since she was 14 years of age. So she's been doing this a long time, and she's very good at it. And she's really expanding Resident Essentials. It is, we start kick it off, I think, January the 1st. Resident Essentials will be known as Resident Essentials Esoteric School of Metaphysics. Beautiful sounding name, right? She's been teaching for a long time, and that's where I go do my classes that I teach there. I'll be there myself. I'm Brother Francis E. Revels-Bey. I do celestial I am drawings. That means I look at your auric field and I see the symbols for the moment that pop up. I do my best to write them out into the drawing, draw them out. I have some colored pencils that I like to work with, and I put your eyes in. Sometimes people have their higher self or some guardian that shows up. I tell you, it's a blast when the guardian show up, because the guardian can't draw them. You got to draw me. That's another side that I make them aware of if they're not aware of it already. So we'll be there this Sunday, the second Sunday, with the Psychic Healing Arts Fair. There'll be some readers and massage workers in there, body workers in there as well. We usually have one or two on the premises. So come on out, have a good time. Admission is free, 12 noon to 5 p.m. at 3107 Eubank, that's EUBANK Boulevard, Northeast, Suite 34. So you'll drive past this place that's called Nashville Chili Chicken. That's hot and spicy chicken. You'll drive past there, and then you'll see a green building with black trim, and we're the first corner in there. And again, this is 3107 Eubank Boulevard, just north of the intersection of Eubank and Candelaria Boulevard, northeast inside the Scottsdale Shopping Village. And we'll be there again from 12 to 5, and I'll be there. Tomorrow, it's Friday, and the 11th is Veterans Day. To everybody that's a veteran that's is in service for the country, thanks for being in service for us that didn't get a chance to do that. You know, and at whatever cost it may have been, it wasn't easy for all of you men and women that were in the armed forces. So I will see you hopefully next Thursday. If I don't come on, I'll just put a blurb out there on Facebook that I won't be on, but I should be here from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. It's time for me to leave, take a nap, do some meditation, do some studies, work on some book manuscripts, drink some water, and take a nap. Bye, everybody. My grace is your grace. Until next time, remember that divine grace is a blessing as we're alive and well in the age of remembrance. Thank you, Jackie Fillmore, Antoine. Thank you, Arit Mott. And there are many other people who are probably on other platforms watching. Take care.